this. They're connected by a line.
The Saudi purge is what started happening in the beginning of QAnon. I'm trying to see that line. I'm not exactly seeing it, but the Saudi. Oh, I see. That's a long line. That's another one of the long lines.
That's the thing. I was looking for I was saying, let me see what these long lines, because that means that they're far. There's a long connection in time or in subject matter.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely that Saudi element in 9/11. I mean, everyone who's researched 9/11 or read a book knows about the 28 missing pages that were excised from the 9/11 Commission report, which apparently, I mean, I haven't read the 28 missing pages because I think no one has, but it's pretty much known that it was drawing very strong connections between Saudi Arabia and 9/11. And I think Osama bin Laden was Saudi, correct?
Right, but you know what? Here's the thing: do you think Zionists did 9/11, or do you think a bunch of Arab terrorists did it?
I think they all kind of collaborated. Like I would call it the cult of Baal. That there, in the cult of Baal, there are Christian,
I get where
Muslim,
you're going. Yeah.
and Jewish factions, and that they all sort of collaborated. And I do believe that Mossad was very directly involved, possibly with the demolition. But that, well, I don't, there's all different theories that if there were hijackers or not, if there were hologram planes, not all the theories line up with each other. So I'm not going to say I believe one or the other, but there was definitely some planning by Osama bin Laden and these Al-Qaeda factions in terms of 9/11. Now, maybe it was all just planned on paper and people trained, and then they were brought off to the desert and shot in the head, and they used holograms and brought down the tower with explosives. But I'm not going to say I know which percentage of the plan was actually executed by Al-Qaeda factions versus Mossad.
Right. Very wise to be that way. I agree. Next one is, and I'm a big believer that we went to Iraq for ancient alien technology. You've got the Ziggurat of Ur stargates connected to the Iraq invasion. What does the Ziggurat of Ur stargate?
Well, the Ziggurat of Ur is an ancient structure in Iraq. It's a ziggurat in Iraq, which is kind of like a pyramid, but it's more like a temple than a pyramid. And there's photos of all these U.S. troops walking into it, and nobody really knows what they did in there. And I guess it's really pretty much a rumor that they accessed a Stargate and pretty much fulfilled the entire narrative of the movie Stargate 1994 while they were in there. But there's a lot of speculation. And just to mention that mega ritual right below it, I've actually been thinking about this even more lately. The fact that 9/11 with those two towers, and even if you look at the whole layout of the World Trade Center complex, like from an aerial view, that it's basically set up like a huge Masonic temple. And so to have those two towers fall, and then for them to build the third one, is actually fulfilling, I guess, the prophecy or the vision held within a lot of like classical Masonic artwork, where you see two towers, a third tower in the distance. A lot of times there's like a ladder going up to the light, and there's just so many Masonic connections in it that I'm sure you can find YouTube videos explaining how 9/11 was a Masonic mega ritual. But just to see how many Masonic ties there were in 9/11 is pretty staggering. The fact that we all watched that happen and didn't even think about Masons until many years later.
Masons is such a hard topic to penetrate with people because they think, oh, they're good, and to a degree, I guess they are good within themselves as an organization, taking care of each other. But at the higher levels, it's some dark shit. So the next one is the Las Vegas pyramid sacrifice. And I think another post you took down on Instagram, you talked about how that this is a totalitarian tiptoe towards a gun law, but they failed in their execution in getting their gun law passed. So am I correct in assuming all those things there? Pretty much that they were trying to pass.
Yeah, the Las Vegas pyramid sacrifice is still very mysterious to me. That's another one that has very Masonic undertones, and the mainstream media, you wouldn't even know that this happened in front of the Luxor pyramid, or that the Luxor pyramid has any kind of occult significance. But I realized that after the fact. I watched a really interesting video by Bill Cooper, the author of Behold the Pale Horse, who I still consider to be almost like the forefather of modern conspiracy thought. And he went to the Luxor right after it was built, and was really expertly explaining all of the occult and Egyptian symbolism in that hotel, and that is the same belief system held by the Illuminati and the people who built it. And that just really pulled it all together for me. And I actually went to Las Vegas in January 2018 just because I felt drawn to sort of explore, try to figure out what happened, try to just like read the energy of the whole site. I mean, once I also had researched and heard that there were tunnels connecting the Luxor Pyramid to Area 51, that just piqued my
Whoa,
interest even more.
whoa, whoa.
And so I went there partially to find the entrance to the tunnel, but obviously, didn't get too far with that. But yeah, it's just